negro y todos me señalaron. Dijeron igualdad, pero esta vez me separaron. Dijeron mucho, pero no se olvidaron de callarse. Cuánto odio por mi piel sembraron. Dijeron historia y la tergiversaron. Dijeron guerra, muerte, odio y nos culparon. Enfermedades, epidemias nos contagiaron. Exterminación de mi fauna complace a tus mercados. Dijeron riqueza y todos se lo robaron. Oro, platino, diamante, a la fuerza se lo llevaron. Y la actualidad es tan triste que todo aquello que dijeron es lo mismo que hoy se dice más. ¿Quién dice, quién explota, quién se beneficia? El asesino, el mismo que da las noticias. Hay una cuenta fácil que siempre me da las grandes riquezas, de dónde vienen y hacia dónde van.
Independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao, independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao. Nati Dre es afroresistencia, cultura ancestral, afrodescendencia, solidaridad. Esa es la esencia, la diáspora africana eleva la conciencia, conciencia negra, universal, progresista y transcultural. Negros y mestizos revolucionando, pueblos caribeños y africanos en un solo bando. No más explotación, colonialismo interno, no más confusión, supremacía blanca en el Babilón. Soy rojo, negro y verde, afroliberación. Mientras más negro, más represión. Somos creadores, recupera tu visión. Mi visión es educar con amor, contra el silencio, vivo sin temor. Independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao, independiente como los Mao Mao, concluyente como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao,
como los Mao Mao. Somos resistentes como los Mao Mao.
What's happening, good people? This is the Rise Up. It's not the morning show right now. This is just the Rise Up period. We have a special edition because we feel like it's time to rise up. You know, matter of fact, we might mess around, have to drop the whole morning show aspect of it and just call it the Rise Up period. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, folks need to know it's about that time. My name is Kalonji Chonga. If it's your first time tapping in, this is Black Power Media. I'm here with a couple of my comrades, Isaac Jasper and Natasha. Sometimes she's known as Natasha X because we don't know what her last name is, but it's all good.
We got our own nickname. Me and Natasha have our own nickname since y'all handed us the keys.
You are on with us.
Exactly. Welcome to the Khaliifah effect.
Khaliifah effect. Since
I feel like deja vu. Special uninvited guest. I'm live and direct. We are here today, and you know we're making light. Excuse me, but we're not here. You know, in that capacity, we're here because of the fact that in about 15 minutes, our brother is scheduled to have his life snatched away from him by the state of Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri, to be exact. And, you know, we wanted to do a live update. One of our brothers from France, shout out to Fernando, he had the idea that we should come on tonight and kind of stand in solidarity with Khaliifah and with our brothers and sisters and comrades around the world, his family, etc., to pay homage to this man, you know, of course, with all the prayers and the hopes and the phone calls and everything that we can muster up. You know, we are, I don't want to say hoping or wishing, but willful and prayerful that this execution that he will get a stay, and that it will be commuted. And this time tomorrow, you know, he'll be giving interviews saying that, you know, the people were able to rise up. Right now, of course, he was denied that stay and denied yesterday in the as far as the hearing. Sorry, my words are kind of, you know, I'm feeling away because I feel like we're walking towards the inevitable. And many of us have been down this road before. As I mentioned, 13 years ago in 3 days, Troy Anthony Davis, we had a similar situation. It feels like deja vu. It feels like this thing is going on and on. It feels like we have this thing on repeat when it comes to oppression, and we set back and we have our fingers crossed and everything else that we could possibly do, because we know that this is like we're on death watch. The state of Missouri, the United States, has given this man an expiration date and an expiration time. We, in our hearts, in our spirit, and the energy that we muster, we are, we're sitting here, hoping that in the next hour, there's been some type of change. Anyway, I don't want to hog the mic. We know that folks have made calls, and we appreciate, and I'm sure he appreciates, and I'm sure that his family appreciates the courage of the people. I'm sure they appreciate the selflessness. The fight is not over. So regardless, win, lose, or draw, there's battles and there's war. So we say that the fight will not be over regardless, and we continue to figure out how to dismantle this ruthless, racist, criminal enterprise masquerading as a Christian country, masquerading as a quote-unquote God-fearing country, when in fact we know that it's a colony, it's stolen land. We know that it was initiated, started, and produced courtesy of bloodshed. We must properly understand that regardless of how hype we get, regardless of what type of black faces we get in high places, no matter what type of sense of evolution, or that we've evolved, or that things have changed since the 60s, or that things have changed since slavery. We know that that's all a lie. It's a facade. It is a mockery of any type of real justice. It's not ma'at. It is wickedness. It's pure evil. It is murder. We're about to witness, as so many of our ancestors have witnessed, a lynching, a modern day lynching. We're about to witness them pumping drugs that they use for animals into this man's system to rob him of his life and to rob his family of their family member. Indeed, we have our heartfelt and sincere condolences for the family of the victim, but there's no reason for us to even begin to logically believe that Marcellus William Khaliifah is guilty. There's no reason. According to the DNA evidence that was tampered with, the family of the victim, they don't want to see the execution go on. But for some reason, this malicious state is choosing to execute this man, and we're all gathered here today as witnesses to this injustice. Anyway, I'm going to pass the microphone to Tasha. Isaac, you all have anything you want to say? we may have a guest calling in from the scene of the crime. So stay tuned to that.
Yeah, man. It's crazy because this morning, me and you, Kalanji, it took us a minute even just to kind of get the live started. That's the type of energy this is again. It I feel like we're watching the Hunger Games. I feel like we're watching Squid Games. You know, we're watching our people die at the hands of a system that gives two shits about them, never has, never will. And you know, I'm it's crazy when you have that feeling like you're about to lose a family member. You know, that's the feeling I have in my gut right now. It's like I'm getting ready to lose a family member, and it's a hard feeling to wrestle with because you know when I came to this story, it really pissed me off then, and it pisses me off now. But I understand that me being pissed off, while also understanding the current situation, you know, does nothing. I can be angry, but at the same time, what am I going to do with that anger? And so what I did is I did what any broadcast journalist would do is I talked about this, was on Twitter at multiple occasions, just recently, played, and gave my own analysis of, Commandante Kalanji speaking on behalf, alongside the individuals, the team of Imam Khaliifah. It's not a good day. It's not a good day when you feel like this, man. Again, I feel like I'm losing a family member, and I've never met this man in my life. You know, I've never had a conversation with him. I've never, never written a letter. But I have this feeling in my gut that I know, for one, without even looking at the facts, that this man is innocent. You can see it in his face. It's also another thing too, because I understand as an imam, he's not afraid to die. I understand, from a Muslim perspective, that he's looking at this from a different outlook. But it's hard for an individual like myself. Like I said, I got this feeling like I'm losing a family member, and I feel like a lot of people have that same feeling, that have been working and striving to make sure that Imam Khaliifah is free. Or even as the family has said, we'll take life in prison, shit. And said no to that. The family members of the victim said, we do not want a innocent man to die, and yet the state deems he needs to die. The Supreme Court just 25 minutes ago, if I'm not mistaken, rejected stay of execution in clemency. So they know what they're doing. They know what they want, and we're slowly getting to that time, and it sucks, man. It sucks, and I'm losing a lot of words to try and get people to understand how serious this is, because it's very simple to understand. It's an innocent man who is behind bars, who did not do the crimes that they say they committed. The individual witnesses were paid off rats. Okay, individuals who have nothing more, nothing less, but to be paid off for this, for a man to die, man. I'm losing my words. So I'm gonna pass this off to Natasha before you get a fuck every 5 words. So.
Yeah, I echo the words that both you and Kalanji have said, because when we think about the injustice, but the idea that is always thrown around of, like, no justice, no peace, and we're constantly living in a state of injustice. And like you said, Isaac, there's so many examples of exactly what, but yet, the peace, they want us to remain, in a state of peacefulness, when there's so much injustice always being done. And the example of Marcellus, Imam Khaliifah, and all the blatant, like was mentioned before, like as well as people, when you read the stories and you read what's told about his case, all of the blatant clear signs of the innocence, and also the blatant clear signs of collusion and what's the word, misconduct within this whole trial. It's a mountain of it. It reminds me a little bit too of, when we think about Mumia and the appeals, when we see you're presented clearly with the evidence, but none of that when it comes to the law of what the law that's been created within the United States, right? These man-made laws, to then say, okay, well, we're going to use these man-made laws that we've created, that we only decide to misapply whenever we feel like it, whenever we want to lynch somebody, whenever we want to take away people's lives. Like, we know so many of our brothers and sisters have been put behind the walls and executed on lies, the same way that we think about lynching back in the day, when you just a white person could just come and say, well, this black person, they looked at me this way, or they came and they did this to me, and nothing could stop that, right? So when we think that we've moved beyond the injustices of the past, but they replay themselves over and over and over and over again, especially like in this case with Imam Khalifa, where as long as the claim has been made, it doesn't matter truth or nothing matters. It doesn't matter. The truth no longer matters. It just matters that you want to see this man executed, that you need to have another notch on your belt of another black person that's been lynched within the United States through the prison system.
Yeah, I'm listening to what both of you are saying, and I appreciate you all for being willing to come on here. We appreciate the folks in the chat and the folks who are watching this now and the folks who will watch it later on. We're not here to for the sake of just being here. We're not here for the sake of views and all that other crazy shit. Imagine if you knew the date, the time, the hours, and the means, the seconds of how you were to die. Imagine the type of terror and horror, because we all are here today in community, not only us on the screen, but those who are in the chat watching this live right now, those who are watching live, who aren't in the chat, that's just watching it live. We're looking, and according to this clock right now, it is 5:59 p.m. Central, 6:59 p.m. Eastern, and this man is scheduled to be executed in less than a minute. Less than 1 minute. Our prayers and our hopes and our wishes is with this man and with his family. We're hoping, man, this it's unbelievable, and it's surreal that we're sitting here knowing that this is the fate, and that these rotten ass motherfuckers, I'm sorry I had to say it just like that, knowing that they're not concerned with this man. They're not concerned with his lives. They're not concerned with guilt or innocence. The fact that they are warmongers. The fact that these are the same people, when you talk about the Sudan, who fund the enemies of life. These same people who fund terror in the Congo and terror in Palestine, and who are funding this BS war between Ukraine and Russia. These are the same people that will kill you and go home with their families without a problem. There are people that are in those death chambers who enjoy this. And we sit back feeling powerless. Folks want to know, what can we do? I wish there was a simple answer. You know, the answer that we often give as organizers, we say join an organization. And to some folks, that might sound like empty rhetoric. It might sound like fashionable militancy. But somebody has to stand and say, look, in the words of Fannie Lou Hamer, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yes, we feel powerless. No, we're not on this screen acting like we're tough guys. We're on this screen right now because it is a very real chance that either one of us can end up on death row. Either one of us can be Khaliifah. Either one of us could be Troy Davis. And either one of us could be a Tukey Williams, and so on and so forth. We could be Mumia Abu Jamal or Leonard Peltier. So we can't do anything. In the mortal words of Bunchy Carter from the Black Panther Party, said, if you can't do nothing but spit, then motherfucker spit. We haven't gotten any reports yet. We do have a couple people that are on the ground right now at the site. And no, you know, the DNA testing was not enough. In fact, it was, they said the evidence was tampered with. The knife had fingerprints on it, but none of the fingerprints belonged to Khaliifah. There was a bloody shoe print, and it wasn't his shoe print, you know, so, you know, it doesn't quite seem to matter. It don't quite seem to matter. We want to definitely open it up for the chat. If you have any comments or whatever, we appreciate you all rocking with us. This is Black Power Media. We appreciate you coming on to Black Power Media. If you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe to Black Power Media Reloaded on YouTube, Black Power Media Reloaded. Also, if you have the opportunity, if you'd like to be on our mailing list, we know that some of you are on our mailing list because we send an email blast out. You can join our email list by going to blackpowermedia.org, blackpowermedia.org. We have a number of different things going on right now. We have a full website, magazine. Our second issue of our magazine, Afro Pick, drops tomorrow. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. Again, we have folks on the ground now. We're waiting for, you know, to find out what exactly is going on. We have to, you know, there's no way around it, man. You know, some folks say, you know, I'm not joining the organization or whatever. We had Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. on earlier today. And one of the things we talked about was how you don't have to get down with an organization. You don't have to have structure, but the state will structure you. You not being a part of an organization will place you in an organization. You know, so the thing is, you know, folks always say, you know, that's why I don't join organizations because, you know, this happens and that happens. An organization is not some magical space. It's not a magical place where people like, you know, like the church or whatever, just because you saved or whatever, don't mean that, you know, your sins are washed away. That's not the reality of this thing. The reality is we are humans. We're having a human experience. We're spiritual people, spiritual beings having a physical experience. And unfortunately, you know, we don't always get it right. Proof positive is what's going on right now with this case. Again, they are planning to execute this man. And I can't even imagine what has gone through his mind. I can't imagine what his family is feeling. I couldn't imagine You know, I feel pain, and as Isaac said, I never met Khalifa. He wasn't a part of my biological family. However, as a member of our human family, as a member of our human family, we feel pain. Could you imagine your biological family members being on edge right now? Can you imagine, for the folks that's out there viewing this, your sons or your daughters, you know, having to go through this? I mean, it's absolutely absurd. Anyway, you folks have anything you want to add to it?
Yeah, I do. For those that are wondering how this even got to this point, let's just also highlight. And I've done my own extensive research. I'll wait for you to confirm, Kalanji, before I even open my mouth about something. I trust you, but Missouri will execute an innocent man. Marcellus. I lost my train of thought, but I'm also like getting really emotional right now. It's hard to process this right now. It really is. We live in a society where they're killing people fucking here, and they're killing indigenous and innocent people abroad as well. And we still have this consensus that the only way that we move forward is backing the individual that looks like me, that has the same complexion as me. Well, let me tell you this. That's the same person that you're about to vote for in fucking November is the same person who denied clemency, denied stay of execution. This is it's heavy on my heart because I have family members that are incarcerated. I'm pretty sure we all might have some. I'm thinking of them right now. Thinking about my cousin Ray. I'm thinking about my cousin Raekwon. You know, it's hard. It's hard when you put it into context. And so, yeah, I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I think like you said, the words, there aren't enough words because there aren't even words, because we're sitting here, like you said, waiting. Imagine if this was your own particular family, but like we said, this is part of our family. But I'm also thinking about, you know, our broader family as a people, but I'm also thinking too about like how many times we've had to sit through these types of situations. And when we talk about Fannie Hamer and being sick and tired of being sick and tired, how many times we've had to sit through a lynching, whether we've seen it, you know, it's been done on the street, and then we're watching the video of that lynching done on the street, or we're sitting here, you know, and you're seeing it being played and updated on the news where someone's getting ready to be put to death. And we have to, and knowing that they're innocent, knowing that there's so much evidence, and knowing that there is something that can be done about it right here in this moment. Even, you know, even before we had all day, we had all week, you had, you know, many times where you're looking and being presented with the truth over and over and over again, but it's been refused. But innocence and life has been refused because some person is arbitrarily saying, well, no, in my opinion, it doesn't matter whether or not there's so much overwhelming evidence that this person should not be put to death, but I'm going to choose to put them to death anyway. And it makes me really wonder the bloodthirst that exists. Where, you know, what is that? Where, you know, what is the material benefit for that bloodthirst?
It's a destruction. I'm gonna let you continue, sis.
No,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, because the amount of blood that has been and continues to be spilled, the amount of our blood that has been and continues to be spilled it seems to never be enough, right? There's no end. That it seems to never be enough. There's not, enough people to be jailed. There's not enough people to be put to death on the streets or in prison or by lethal injection. And so at what point is it? And like we're saying, not even just here, within the world, within, Latin America, in Africa and the Caribbean, within the world, the amount of bloodshed, the amount of lynchings, the amount of injustice that's been done and continues to be done, like what the bloodthirst that exists to continue to do these things. When is enough going to be enough? And it doesn't seem, just like capitalism, there is no end. There is no such thing as like, okay, well, yeah, after this, maybe things will change and they'll do better.
This is a piece from his attorney that's being read right now, or it's just been read. It's a statement from Trisha Bushnell, who's the attorney for Khaliifah, and it's been given by it's a statement from her given by one of the folks on the scene.
Khaliifah Williams. The victim's family opposes his execution. Jurors who originally sentenced him to death now oppose his execution. The prosecutor's office that convicted and sentenced him to death.
Excuse me, might have some technical difficulties. But
Missouri will execute an innocent man, Marcellus Khaliifah Williams. The victim's family opposes his execution. Jurors who originally sentenced him to death now oppose his execution. The prosecutor's office that convicted and sentenced him to death have admitted they were wrong and zealously fought to undo the conviction and save Mr. Williams' life. More than 1 million concerned citizens and faith leaders.
This is coming from my phone. It was just sent to me, so bear with it. That's again, this is a statement from the attorney. We haven't gotten
This is not justice,
anything on execution
and we
yet.
must all question any system that would allow this to occur. The execution of an innocent person is the most extreme manifestation of Missouri's obsession with finality over truth, justice, and humanity at any cost. Amen. Khaliifah is a kind and thoughtful man who spent his last years supporting those around him in a role as Imam. We will remember him for his deeply evocative poetry, his love and service to his family and his community. While he yearned to return home, he is a thoughtful man who has worked hard to move beyond the anger, frustration, and fear of wrongful execution, channeling his energy into his faith and finding meaning and connection to Islam. The world will be a worse place without him. As dark as today is, we owe it to Khaliifah to build a brighter future. And we are thankful to the St. Louis prosecuting attorney.
Yes, again, that's a statement from his attorney. One of shout out to Sister Francis, who is on the scene right now. Again, this is a very strange time, and I think it's a strange time because it's nothing new. It's not like it's some type of new phenomenon. This is what they do. This is once again the unfortunate thing about the internet and social media is we get to see things in real time. On one side, it's it's good that you stay in tune, but you get to witness the genocide in different places, and folks need to know that it's all tied together. You know, when you talk about holistic, this is holistic. This is what the merchants of death desire. So again, it's not a question of guilt or innocence. It's who do we make an example out of? You know what I'm saying? Who do we make an example out of? Who do we say the problem is? You know, this is you know, it's war. This is what war looks like. This is what comes with it. You know, so again, our hearts are out for Khaliifah. We're gonna stay on for a little while longer. You know, again, you know, folks have any comments, suggestions, or whatever, we're with you. We wanted to give our spin because I think that what happens is oftentimes, you know, we're waiting to see what Fox News has to say. We're waiting to see what CNN has to say. We're waiting to see what ABC and some of these other agents of the state, what type of propaganda they're pushing. You know, we like to bring it to you raw. We like folks to know that, you know, that there are some folks that are down to resist. You know, again, you're watching Black Power Media. This is a special.
I just want to put this out there. The last words of Marcellus Williams were, "All praise be to Allah in every situation." Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so there's been official.
The document that I'm looking at right now is official. If you can confirm his the number that they classify him under, so I'll send it to you. But from what I see, it's legit.
Okay. All right, we will stay tuned. We're gonna go to a quick break, if that's all right. Do a quick little Black Power break, and we're gonna be right back at you. You're watching Black Power Media, watching the Rise Up Morning Show special edition, and we're here in honor and respect for matter of fact, I'm sorry, before we go anywhere, I just got a copy, of course, of that statement that you're speaking on. That is correct. His last statement was, "All praise be to Allah in every situation."
Alhamdulillah.
All praise due to Allah in every situation. We'll be right back with you in a few ticks. Rise Up Morning Show.
Poets, yeah, massive for this 4th century, yeah, you know, heard. Seen, sight. The sound unheard of massive. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, you hear those war drums? Yeah, just let it breathe. Yeah, you hear those war drums? Yeah, just let it breathe. Yeah, you hear those war drums? Yeah, just let it breathe. Yeah, you hear those war drums? Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. I clutch the microphone, so never fear. Cause Sunny brings atmosphere, breath of life into this battlefield. We call it Barrio Harlem. Gentrifiers is trying to steal like Sunset, South Bronx, and San Juan Hill. Until my homies island side, they hold the San Juan still. The murder of Philly Bento made it oh so real. For young Mike Tenderfoot in the books, chill with crooks till I change my look and focus on what they took from my collective people. Fucking dogs, birth and evil. Me and need to learn logistics of acquiring the Desert Eagle. Defy your back and guard me inspired. My raps and Ray told me my shit was dope, so I assumed what I had was crack. And yeah, I hustle hard, we got the flow, so run with us. Just never stepped on our hand, homies eat so they can bundle up when it's cold out. But why pedal dust for a couple bucks to the same knuckle fucks? Getting high since before the Knicks sucked. Totally remember ghetto living mode to me, not to mention the way my mama sat me down.
Yeah, so it's been confirmed. We received a report at the time of death for Marcellus, Imam, Khaliifah Williams with 6:10 p.m. 6:10 p.m. Central, which is 7:10 p.m. Eastern. He was executed approximately 10 minutes ago. As Isaac mentioned, his final statement. Read his final statement again, Isaac, please.
Final statement was all praise to Allah in every situation. That was from Marcellus Williams, Imam, Khaliifah. This is if you do not look at this situation right now and feel what we are all feeling on this screen, I don't know what to tell you. We live in a system that deeply, deeply embodies itself in hating Black and brown people. We have individuals right now that are saying, oh, we could change everything if we put our votes behind one person, if we put our votes behind this person. And that's not how we fix this. We fix this the same way that that O'Malley Yeshitela has said. Find me a way in history. Find me a time period in history where we voted our way out. We voted our way into slavery. Let us vote our way out. Find a time period where we sang our way into this shit. We could sing our way the fuck out. But that's not the reality that we live in. See, they've been doing the same things over and over and over and over and over again, and doing it in a manner to where you think it's something different, but really it's the same, because it upholds the values of the same system that oppresses us all. So when you look at Zionism is manifest destiny. When they say that they're executing someone, that is fucking murder. That's what we just witnessed today. The fact that an innocent man who the governor before was starting the process of clemency, of stay of execution. And when when Governor Parsons came into effect, what happened? He fell under the same lines that he always was going to follow under, which is upholding the values of white supremacy. This man has executed 11 motherfuckers before they executed him. We live under a system where they don't care about Black and brown people. They never did. They never fucking will. And the only reason that they say they have some semblance of caring is because every fucking 40 years they need bodies. They need people to go out to these polling stations, to these voting booths, so that we can continue this process of seeing another individual, another innocent Black man be gunned down, be executed, be murdered. So many fucking words I could use right now. I'm hot because this was. If you are in a situation right now where you think that the next morning things are just gonna go the same, no. I know a lot of people right now as to where I got that information for before it hit the eyes of Kalanji, before he got that official. I know people. This is not gonna go away. And if you think that this is that we're gonna allow you, or that I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna allow Kamala Harris to try and then use this to propel people to vote for her, nah. Because where were you? You were silent. You were silent, homegirl. Probably washing your collard greens in a bathtub somewhere while an innocent fucking man was fucking murdered. Supreme Court, the same Supreme Court that's Trump's Supreme Court. They all uphold the same values, and that's white hegemony. And my condolences to the family. I apologize for even speaking in profoundly like this, but I have this gut feeling in me. And it's not going to go away because I feel like I lost a family member. I feel like I lost my uncle Marcellus. That's what we're going to say. That's what I'm going to put out there. Marcellus is every single one of us, because every single one of us has a fucking target on our back. Whether you believe that or not, whether you consciously make that assertion or not, you got to believe it. This system wants nothing more than mass escalation, which comes at the hands of our bodies, which means more cop cities so that they could beat our asses up when we protest, when we see them doing some stupid ass shit. So I'll land my 747 jumbo jet right there. My condolences to the family. I really in this time period, I feel like again, like we lost a family member, and we lost someone from the African diaspora. We lost one of our brothers. We watched it in current time. Okay, this is a contemporary version, in my opinion, of us watching individuals of the likes of Nat Turner be lynched.
We I want to point out, and I appreciate your heartfelt words, Isaac. You know, I don't even shit. I gotta watch my words. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? One of the comrades just pointed out that this execution, that there's been, this is the first time in more than 20 years, since July 2003, that 5 executions were held in 7 days. That's Texas, Missouri, Alabama, and Oklahoma.
And Alabama does the electric chair still, mind you guys.
Well, they actually, not only that, they use nitrogen now as well. So, and there are, I believe, 5 states that still have the firing squad on the books, so you can have a choice. And this is real. You can look it up, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people talk or whatever and they exaggerate. But you know, the firing squad still exists. But 5 people were executed in the past 7 days across this country. Texas is a death machine. Texas is the capital of executions. So you all heard about what happened with Marcellus today. There's another individual, I believe, who was executed in Texas or scheduled to be executed in Texas today. So, you know, we want you to know that this ain't no, you know, it's serious. But the thing is, unfortunately, if you're not in tune with certain platforms, then you're going to get the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear everything but what you need to be listening to. And that's why it's important for you to support platforms like what we're doing right here. And we're not the #1 platform, none of that dumb shit. We're not the best. We don't get the most numbers, but we tell the truth. And we give it to you the way you need to get it. We won't sugarcoat it. You know, it ain't a bunch of, you know, yeah, we crack jokes and all that, but everything ain't ha ha he he. Shit's real. You know, so this is what we're up against. We're up against a ruthless machine. So that's why we say we have to get organized. That's why we say that get involved with something. I don't give a damn what kind of organization, as long as it's effective. You know what I'm saying? If you're in church or you're in mosque or whatever you choose to do, if you're in a synagogue, organize your people and say that injustice is injustice. Dr. King, who a lot of folks throw rocks at, probably one of the most bravest men of the last century, you know, who was executed at age 39, who folks like to talk about how nonviolent he was. According to sources, he carried a 38 in his Bible, 38 snub nose. That's just according to some of his comrades. But that man who marched all through the wicked ass South, Alabama, Mississippi, you know, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, all the way up to the wicked North, Chicago, you know, places like that, where the racists in Chicago threw a brick or a bottle and hit him upside his head in the park up there. That was Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But he said a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Keeping it funky, I stated in previous interviews that unfortunately, the way shit goes under this white power structure internationally, I said that Marcellus Khaliifah Williams didn't stand a chance. Now, some people didn't like me saying that, but I'm just telling you that we know that based on time and based on history, we know how they get down. Now, I'm sure that there are folks that's watching, and in your mind, you're thinking that you're powerless. But like I said, man, once you are a student of history, you see that no empire lasts forever. No empire lasts forever. It's impossible. Nothing lasts forever. Everything perishes. Everything has to go. You know what I'm saying? And we all are on borrowed time. We all are twinkles in the eyes of history. We're just a drop in the water, a drop in the bucket, and it's a hole in this bucket. But we just can't be spitting for the sake of spitting. We can't just be spitting in the wings. That shit slap us in the face every time. We have to get this thing together. And we have to watch who we watching. What's your intake? What's your diet? What's your mental diet? Some of you know some of the things you watch is straight up bullshit. Some of these folks you watch, their shows should say entertainment purposes only. Because that's what they're about. Some of these people have more visceral and more issues with African and indigenous people than they do those who oppress us. We want y'all to get a clear understanding as well. The most dangerous animal, because we talk about the animal kingdom, the most dangerous animal on the entire planet is the white man. It's the most violent of all animals. Any individual, any group of people that can create nuclear bombs and destroy damn near 1 million people, animals, plants, the environment, is a strange kind of man. Any individual who can drop a bomb on Osage Avenue, May 13th, 1985, and kill men, women, and children and animals is a strange kind of being. Again, you know, we send our prayers out to Marcellus Williams, Imam Khaliifah, who transitioned, who was murdered in front of the entire world at age 55. Age 55. Official time of death, 6:10 p.m. Central, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. While we were on here talking, they was robbing him of his life. While we was on here sending out our last bids and our last protests, they were sticking the needle in his arm. Think about that. We've been on air less than an hour. Less than an hour. And in that time, they murdered a man. In that time, they executed a father. They executed a grandfather. This man was less than 2 years older than me. He took his life. He didn't care what the public thought. I saw all types of folks, entertainers, activists, black folks, white folks, folks of different gender persuasions and all types of shit. Everybody. His name was it was trending. I saw MC Light posting about it. I'm like, wow, this is doing it. But again, I've been down this road before.
And I think it's also a show of power when we think about these public executions, especially of our people. When we're thinking about the show of power, that in the same way when we think about enslavement and to lynch someone in public to show the power of the slave master, and the show of power that is coming from the Supreme Court and Governor Parson to show that, look, it doesn't matter. Truth, justice, it doesn't matter. We're the ones who are the ultimate, deciders of who lives and who dies. That's how much power that we wield. If you think, anything else matters, whether or not, like you were saying, you all can come from the woodwork, all the evidence could be there. The prosecution could even be saying, look, we want, he's innocent. We need to, like, get rid of his case or overturn his the verdict. None of that matters, because when you wield all the power and you get to say whatever you want to say and you get to do whatever you want to do, including killing whoever you want to kill at whatever time you want to kill them, for whatever reason you feel that you want them dead, it doesn't matter. And I think, that's one of the things I'm also thinking about, is how much this is a show of white supremacist power, what message they want to send in this moment with this action, and how it compounds the messages of power that are shown through murder.
Yes. Again, we thank you all for joining us here tonight. Wherever you are in the world, be sure to share this platform, share this program, share this video with folks. Let them know, indeed, like our comrade and Sister Valerie would say, that we're going to resist, and resist. And we're going to keep on resisting. You know what I'm saying? There ain't going to be no, we can't, and we ain't selling no wolf tickets, and we ain't trying to make no threats or none of that jive. You know what I'm saying? We got to make it clear, because folks oftentimes, they talk tough and all that. We know we up against a beast. We know how they get down. We've had quote unquote victims on this platform. We've had folks come through and who have suffered, who have been shot by these motherfuckers, who have been tortured by them, who have served. Many of the folks we've had on it served 50 years plus in these gulags. People who were tortured, who had their fingernails ripped off with pliers, their toenails ripped off with pliers. We had folks on here who suffered by the state. We had brothers on here who were part of San Francisco 8 or San Francisco 9 who basically was tortured for days, had cattle prods stuck to their testicles and to their anus, put in, sleep deprivation, feet put in ice cold water and typewriter bags over their heads and beaten and denied sleep. We've had folks on here who suffered. Again, we give thanks to all our brothers and sisters out there, our comrades. We say free Mumia Abu Jamal. We say free Leonard Peltier. We say free Joy Powell. We say free Kamal Siddiqui. We say free, if I don't know if I said Imam Jamal Alameen, formerly Trap Brown, you know what I'm saying, and all other political prisoners and prisoners of war who are, as Khalid Abdul Muhammad would say, locked up unjustly by this white man. Folks who consider themselves comrades and allies, continue to support our efforts. Again, it's the Black Power Media. Follow us at Black Power Media Reloaded. Tomorrow we have our latest issue of the magazine dropping. You can go to our Patreon. You can become a Patreon member without having to pay to be a Patreon member. But donating and joining what it is we're doing and helping us grow, we won't be mad at you for that either. But tomorrow our magazine, Afro Pick, will drop on our Patreon channel, which is patreon.com/Black Power Media Reloaded, patreon.com/Black Power Media Reloaded. We have an awesome issue that'll be dropping tomorrow. It'll be our second issue. Again, we're trying to build a media outlet, not a YouTube channel. But also we recognize that the state, not only will they quote unquote demonetize you, they'll shut your shit down. We've seen that with various channels. So we need to build our own servers. So we need you, if you like what you're seeing, if you like what's going on, to support our efforts, so that we can make sure that we can have our own servers, so we don't have to, make YouTube mad and they take their toys back from us. because the stuff that we're talking about, the things you hear, the reports you've gotten, shit, I've gotten a few texts right now, like, thanks you all. We got the first report from you. We wasn't in a race to announce, how inadequate we are. We weren't in a race to announce how weak we are as a people due to our lack of organization. We weren't in a race to announce genocide. We wanted to stand from where we were with brothers and sisters and comrades and allies and folks who might be confused about what's what. We wanted to stand together and say, look, well, we can't be on the grounds right now, but we can be in community.
Because, like Isaac said before, how this affects us all. Like when we think about it spiritually, we're connected in these kinds of ways. And so whether or not this is a person that you knew personally, we're all feeling it in the same ways that when people see those videos of us being executed on the streets, we all feel it. We carry it with us, not just in that moment, but in days and months and even years later. And so to be able to bring it, and because I think also too, when we think about like lack of organization that exists, and the way that our communities have been infiltrated and pulled apart, that a lot of times we can sometimes be in these moments by ourselves. And so that also does something to you when you have to be in these moments by yourself.
Right on.
And so being able to be in these moments together is also something that is, has a spiritual connection to it as well, in terms of, how we deal and we feel these things.
No doubt. I would like to send a shout out to our good sister Michelle Smith, ML Smith, who has been working tirelessly out in St. Louis, out in Missouri, fighting her organization, fighting against the death penalty, fighting for Khaliifah. We first connected in a fight for the life of Kevin Johnson, who was executed almost 2 years ago in the state of Missouri. So we want to shout her out for keeping Marcellus Khaliifah Williams' name alive, and the countless other brothers and sisters who are on death row. We say shout out to them. We say shout out to our sister Liliana, who is fighting on behalf of death row inmates in Texas. One of, a great freedom fighter. Most of the time, the workers who put in the most work, we don't hear their names. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not a part of popular movements. You understand what I'm saying? They don't fit the description. They're not trying to be cute. We got so many folks that are trying to be cute. We're practicing practicing death right now. You know what I'm saying? We're practicing the death scene, trying to be cute. We're getting dressed up to get to hop in that casket. We want to be the flyers. Some of us, man, if I mean, I guess some people do. If they had a chance to lay out their own funeral, caskets and all, they'll still be trying to stunt. And we know that there are a lot of weak people out there like that. But we say that we're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to struggle. In the words of Chairman Fred Hampton, dare to struggle, dare to win. If you don't dare to struggle, then goddamn it, you don't deserve to win. You've been checking out Black Power Media. Make sure you support our efforts, support our energy. I want to give thanks to Isaac and Natasha because they've been on the scene all day today. Y'all been working. Tomorrow on the morning show, you guys have a special guest on the morning show tomorrow?
Yes, we do. None other than you wanna say it, Natasha? You wanna say just keep it a surprise?
We can say it. We have Tommy Curry on with us, Dr. Tommy Curry on with us tomorrow for the Rise Up Morning Show. So make sure you tune into that. And I did also, I thought it was, when we were sitting here thinking about this really quickly, I thought it was also interesting to think about when we're talking about um, people being put to death and death row inmates that 41% are Black, even though we make up about 13% of the population. Right. So when we think about that and that severe level of imbalance, we got to know that this is more than just them deciding that they're going to put someone innocent to death.
True indeed. True indeed. Definitely Natasha and Isaac mentioned tomorrow's morning show. Also tomorrow at 12 noon, tap in for Professor Griff from Public Enemy. He has his show on this network as well. It's called Arm the Masses for folks that aren't familiar. Make sure you check in. He did a pretty dope show last week on that criminal P. Diddy. So if you missed that, check that out. Yeah, check that out. But he'll have a show tomorrow. It shows at noon. Also, we have a new show on the platform. Good brother Frank and Abdul Haq will be coming on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Their show. They are a part of the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Not sure if you could speak.
Frank is actually the chairman of the Northeast Political Prisoners Coalition.
No doubt. Can you speak on this show? That'll be popping off at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Yes. So on the show, Frank and Abdul Haq, they talk about different things as it relates to political prisoners. They bring on people who are connected to these political prisoners, whether they're their lawyers or their families, but also do a lot of educating people about political prisoners, and also how do these particular political prisoners connect to all of the different things that exist within our society, as well as all of the different things that we think don't connect to political prisoners. I think people a lot of times put political prisoners in a box and be like, oh, those political prisoners and what they were doing, that's there. And, the rest of life is here. No, but it's all connected, and they do a really good job of educating people about the political prisoners, but also making sure people understand how political prisoners are connected to our everyday lives and all of the things that we think that they're not connected to, but are.
No doubt. So that'll be popping off tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Also tomorrow night on RSTV, I'll be back on, and I will have the infamous Sylvia on, and we'll be talking about the infamous Sylvia. She's tied to the case here in Atlanta, the RICO trial. She's been reporting from there, speaking on Young Thug and YSL, the hip hop artist, the rapper Young Thug and YSL, for folks who aren't familiar. Going through a RICO trial right now. We're going to break that down from a political standpoint tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. So tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Wild Wednesday.
I have my own live stream along with our our interview. So
no doubt.
Tune in to the Indigenous Nightmare Media Network. We are a collective, a group. We actually got some new people that are attached to it. Actual podcasts that are connected to it. So stay tuned. But tomorrow's conversation, we're going to be breaking down, obviously, Imam Khaliifah, his execution, the murdering of an innocent man. We'll be going over how specifically these pagers and walkie-talkies made it into Lebanon, for which it caused over 4,000 individuals to be injured and over 20 to be killed. We'll be going over what bomb was used in that specific video that just keeps getting news, rampant exposure and viewership to in regards to what Israel dropped on Lebanon a couple nights ago, which for viewers' sake here, it was a thermobaric missile. Basically is it's a fuel bomb. So the fuel drops first, and then the bomb drops right after, and I'm gonna be explaining all of this, be going into how there is no infrastructure for sports within Gaza altogether. And you can find all this on the Indigenous Nightmare Media Network, which is the Indigenous Nightmare Network on YouTube, under Decolonial Parallels for tomorrow's show. So jam packed. I do want to say before we leave that I spoke directly to Dr. West in his camp, for which Dr. West is traveling right now. So I'm the first person that's able to say this and was given the authority to do so. Dr. West is profoundly frustrated and disheartened at the fact that an innocent man was murdered today. A friend of his, a personal friend of his, someone who he considered a brother. If Dr. West considered you a brother, that's deep. But nonetheless, Dr. West is traveling, so he was not able to be on today's live as we were hoping we would be able to get him on. Confirmed with his wife that he will not, he would not be able to attend, but did give a heartfelt message and act of solidarity with our brother Marcellus Williams, also known as Imam Khaliifah, who is at 6'10", murdered, and his last words were, "All praise to Allah in every situation." So,
no doubt. We, like I said, we give thanks for, for the staff, and like I said, man, I'm glad we made it through here, because I didn't know how we was gonna make it through. My chest was hurting. I had to hop the hell off the screen at one point because I just felt like being like Isaac and cussing everybody out and everything else. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
I'm glad I was able to at least
serve my alter ego. Yes, thank you.
serve as the alter ego. Yes.
When I calm down, Isaac turns up. Okay, it's Natasha's fault. It's that Libra shit they got going on.
It's the Libra.
Anyway, no doubt.
I've kept it calm for all of us.
No doubt. Make sure you all tune in tomorrow. Like I said, the morning show, Rise Up Morning Show, guest Tommy Curry. You have the French Connection back on, Buna, Fernando, and the crew.
A question was asked: Did he say his Shahada?
I think that as a Muslim, I'm quite sure that you saying that who take their Shahada?
No, that Imam. That's what they're asking in the comments. I don't know if it was something. And I would assume if he is an Imam, he did.
Yeah, taking your Shahada declares you a Muslim. You can't become a Muslim without taking your Shahada. That's part of that's the declaration. That's you saying that you are
reverting back.
Yeah, you don't just say you're a Muslim and so yeah, that's to answer that question, I don't know. I didn't see that question, but yes. So the answer is yes, I assume. I don't think he'd be an Imam is a prayer leader, so I don't think he would be leading anyone's prayer if he didn't take a shahada, But yes, so anyway, again, we thank you all for joining us on this night. Be safe, be strong, be fearless, continue to resist, stay ready for revolution. And we, on the way out, we give a moment of silence for Imam Khaliifah, Marcellus Williams, and we say, may he continue to fight. And in his words, what was his last words, Isaac?
All praise to Allah in every situation.
In every situation. Y'all stay on point. We out. We're going to leave y'all with some Sonny Patterson, Imam Khaliifah, Rise in Power.
Ancestor, take my hand. Ancestor, lead me on. Ancestor, let me stand. Ancestor, I get tired. Ancestor, I get weak. My nose, I get warm. Ancestor, through the storm. Ancestor, through the night. Ancestor, lead me on. Ancestor, through the light. Ancestor, take my hand. Ancestors, and lead me on. In my way grows drip. Ancestors, please linger near. When my light years old, almost gone. Hear my cry, hear my call. Take my hand, let's stop fall. Take my hand, ancestors, and lead me on. Hear my cry, hear my call. Take my hand, let's start fall. Take my hand, ancestors, and lead me on.
Familo Wosoke, Kinlek Belga. I am that which walks with you through the torrential rains of life without getting wet. I am that which walks with you through the firestorm within, yet fire cannot burn me. I am that which walks with you through the winds of transformation, yet cannot be uprooted. I am the memory whose shoulders you stand on when feet plant on earth. I am the head that came before a book. I am the you in that mirror that you look. Say my name. I am Ancestor. I am a Gungun. Ashe.
Mojuba, Egun, Mojuba, Egun, Mojuba, Egun, Mojuba. Hear my cry, hear my call. Take my hand, let's start fall. Take my hand, ancestors, and lead me on. Ancestor, you are breath, you are bridge. You carry us over tumultuous time. You who can hear and answer with quick remedy, you are ready before we ask. You who can speak through tongues of trees and fire and water, this earth cannot hold you. We pound the ground and you appear, O ancient ones. You who can make lightning strike with the flick of a skirt. You who can make tornado turn with the spin and span of hips, take us there. To the place of knowing, to the hall that leads to the doorway of you, O holy ones. You of the first light. You who know the potential of possibility pulsing in the dark, deliver us unto our gifts. You who have sunlight in your fingertips, oh touch our drums. Make us hear the rising. Make us move a steady stump. A choir of voices so majestic. Heaven hides us in a tapestry of light. Oh, we are stars, blankets of wonder. Sky bright eyes, seeing the invisible, visible. You who have returned. You have turned our faces so that we see ourselves. And we have found you again in places we would have never imagined. You make our limits infinitely long, our visions clearer with eyes closed, and even there, you still stand in full color, vibrant and eager to serve. Hear my cry, hear my call, take my hand, let's stop fall. Take my hand, ancestors, and lead